Manchester United's long-term target right back Jeremie Frimpong has got a release clause of £34 million that will become active in the summer. The question is he a player Manchester United should be going for? Welcome to the United Hotspot. My name is Webb, and let's talk about this right back position of Manchester United. Now, we've got a big update coming through from Fabrizio Romano about how Manchester United is still monitoring the situation with the Bayer Leverkusen right back, the Dutch international, who is one of the hottest right backs. He's only 23, and certainly Frimpong has always been loved and wanted by many, a Man United supporter. But you look back at it and you think we've always been excited about Frimpong because we are struggling with the likes of Diogo Dalot, and even Aaron Wan-Bissaka had not stepped up his game in the last summer. But the reality is, as we speak now, you think about Diogo Dalot and Jeremie Frimpong, and you're thinking, do we need to be spending £34 million on a right back in the situation we are in? Here's what I think. Now, there is no doubt that Frimpong is a good player, and actually Arsenal as well have been linked with him. There are suggestions that say Arsenal are almost in a lead to try and sign him ahead of any other team that would want him. But that does not mean that United's interest would go to bed, would be put to rest. Eric Ten Hag has been fascinated by the player, and of course we know now that going forward, a new director of football, who will soon be confirmed by the club, will make the decisions on whether we should go ahead with some of these players that Eric Ten Hag has been interested in, or it's going to be a whole new direction and approach for us in terms of the transfers, especially in the summer that's coming. But for me, this is what I think. Whereas Frimpong is a good player and £34 million is should be pocket change, because I want to assume that if we push and qualify for the Champions League, then we will have an extra about what, at least £70 million to get. But also, I know that we will sell players. We can sell players if we do good business in the summer and have the money. But is that money we need to spend on a position where we have one of our most improved players? There's no doubt that we all see it that Diogo Dalot has improved his game in leaps and bounds. And you think his best is just ahead of him. I was listening to Gary Neville, one of our best right backs in recent times, also talking about how this boy is fascinating him with his improvements. His final ball is better. His passing is better. His tackles are better. He's always in the right positions. His mentality gets better every day. He works hard. He's disciplined. He's humble. When you go to Carrington, he's one of the players who will slow down and wave to fans and stuff. He will keep signing autographs. He has got everything we need in the Man United player we want to build with Ineos. So for me, I don't think us spending £34 million, which we don't even have anyway. It's not like those days where there was no financial fair play and you had the luxury of spending so much money on whichever players you would want, because if you have it, there is financial fair play and it's tight. I don't think we need to be spending £34 million on a right back. If anything, we can think about spending that on other positions, like, of course, obviously, a replacement for Casemiro, who will certainly become expensive. We know that players who play in that holding midfield role are expensive in this day and age. So every penny we can collect will be needed to finance that. We do need probably almost the same amount of money to buy a backup striker for Rasmus Højlund. We do need money to buy probably a backup left back, because Luke Shaw, we cannot guarantee he's going to be fit for a long time. We need a centre back, obviously, because you expect Varane to leave, and you need someone younger and more solid to partner with Sandro Martinez, but also to grow with Harry Maguire. So for me, I think we cannot be, first of all, destroying what we have built with Diogo Dalot. If you ask me, I think no player has mastered how Eric Ten Hag wants to play like Diogo Dalot. I think if there is one player that Eric Ten Hag will leave United and be proud of, it will be Diogo Dalot, because this boy has just mastered how Eric Ten Hag wants to play in the right back, how he wants him to play in whichever role, by the way, he deploys him into. So you don't want to destroy that with a new signing who is also almost winning the Bundesliga with Bayer Leverkusen. For me, I think that would be a bad decision. And we know that you cannot bring in Frimpong as a backup right back for Diogo Dalot, because I mean, Frimpong coming in, the only other right back would be bringing in would be to replace Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who is fast becoming a backup for Diogo Dalot, because Dalot is now ahead of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And of course, we do not know how Aaron Wan-Bissaka will look after the injury he's suffering now. But of course, he has shown us before that he came back from injury, played left back against Tottenham, and he was impeccable. So Probably, and he's still young, so probably he will not be completely off. He will still be a decent player. So for me, I think the right back position for now should not be a position of concern for Manchester United, and I don't see a reason why we should be spending 34 million pounds quid on it. For me, that would be proper wastage of money. All we've got to do is hope that Diogo Dalot keeps fit. Dalot keeps fit. We hope that Aaron Wan-Bissaka returns soon and is fit and he can play able backup, but instead get that money, spend it on your Todibo, who has been another long-term target for Manchester United. But we know that with Todibo, you're hitting two birds with a stone. Todibo can play both as a right back and a central defender. So in the event that Diogo Dalot is not fit, push Todibo to the right, let one of Harry Maguire or any other of the centre backs that we'll have around play centre back. We've got Victor Lindelof, who you don't think might be leaving. Let them play centre back. Let Todibo fill the void on the right back in case Dalot, for any reason, which will certainly come, is not there. Or if anything, spend that money on a left back, because the two left backs we have, one is injury prone, the best one, the better option, is always injury prone. The other has been injured for a long time, even before completely proving himself for United. So there is no guarantee that he's going to return fit enough to be a Manchester United player. Whereas we know his abilities in Tyrell Malaysia, there is no guarantee that after that long injury layoff, he's going to return a top player. So, and yes, yet we need top players in all departments. So, what then do? You rather get the 34 million and spend it on someone to back up in the left back position, other than a right back where we have Wan-Bissaka and Diogo Dalot, who are, by the way, a bit close. And I do know that Wan-Bissaka can work hard and even give Diogo Dalot good competition, push him enough. Just that Bissaka has been, because at some point before Bissaka got injured, he was ahead of Diogo Dalot in the pecking order in terms of right back. But Dalot worked hard, like Cristiano Ronaldo has been saying about him, and he bypassed him. Don't, for me, tell me about bringing in Jeremie Frimpong. For what? It's wastage of money. I don't think the new director of football, who we hope will be confirmed soon, can accept such a transaction. For me, those are some of the things I look at, and I'll say either Ineos is working or they are still following the same script but with different personalities, which I don't think is going to be the case at all. Now, speaking of Ineos, it is said we're going to have to wait a bit longer for the official confirmation of Sir Jim Ratcliffe as the new man in charge of football, according to the Premier League. The wait is going to be a bit longer, but that does not stop Omar Berada from doing the work. Already the work is being done. We know that Berada will start, I think they said in June or July or thereabout in the summer. He will officially start work, but even now, before the official confirmation, we know and we are sure that he's already putting things together. He's already active and talking to people, trying to understand, release people, communicating to people who should leave and who shouldn't, trying to look around for who is he going to work with in his secretariat, in his team. All that is going on behind the scenes. So the work is being done. It's only the official confirmation that's pending. But you can't say nothing is being done. Otherwise, Sir Jim wouldn't be there for our Munich memorial. He would certainly not be doing a lot of other things running these petrochemical companies. But for now, I think the talk of Frimpong, and there are so many other players we've been linked with, from Tapsoba, Edmond Tapsoba, the defender, they all seem to be, according to Fabrizio, they are still players we are looking at, but there has got to be a decision made by the new director of football, who, of course, many have been talking about Dan Ashworth as that same person, because talks apparently, according to Fabrizio, are still going on between Manchester United and Newcastle. We are trying to get to price Dan Ashworth out of Newcastle. And if that happens, then perhaps work will be more snappy, things will happen faster, and then decisions will be made on who we need to sign in the summer. The reality is, transfer deals are not made in the summer. The talks and negotiations start earlier. That's why, trust you me, Ivan Toney will be joining Arsenal. But the talks for Ivan Toney between Arsenal and Brentford have been going on for a long time, even during his ban. They have been going on, and Arsenal making verbal offers and all. Behind the scenes, these people are working and doing business. It's not like they sit there and wait for the summer to come and then they start making calls. You will be beaten at every player you want to go at because you are a bit late. So talks and works are starting now, but that's why we need to bring in the director of football early, so that we have direction early on where we want to go, but also give the scouts time to look for these players who fit into the direction we want to take with whichever director of football we will have brought in. Welcome to the United Hotspot. This is what we do. My name is Webb. Subscribe.